So much for taking your time for attending this session. First of all, I would like to thank Jean, Joseph, and Kevin for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be here. I always love to present for all the conferences that you have for the Data Community Summit and then all of them. So I'm so excited to be here. And today I would like to present on the topic all-in-one reusable notebooks for developers and DBAs. So this is like a introductory session for the SQL notebooks because I am also the one who is trying to learn more on these notebooks. For the first time when I came to know about notebooks, I was like really excited and it's pretty much easy to go ahead and create your first notebook as well. A little bit about me. I'm a database administrator with 7 years of experience. Actually, 8 years. You know, when I'm trying to use the same slide over and over again, I forgot to change the year. So it's been the 8 years as a DBA. It's a very nice journey. And I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and Microsoft certified solution expert. I also did my master's in computer technology a couple of years ago in Chicago, here in United States. And also I do blog for dbanuggets.com. That's my website. And you can contact me on Twitter at dbanuggets. If you have any questions regarding this session and if you were unable to speak here, and if you want to talk to me later, email is the way, and you can also type my name on LinkedIn to connect with me. It would be an honor to connect with you. And I am very active on LinkedIn and Twitter as well. So very less slide, but more of the demo today. So think of a scenario. I'm sure you have faced this scenario before, but did you ever face a scenario where like developer or the audit people send you an email saying that, hey, DBAs, we would like to request for the audit reports, and on these servers, these are the requirements. You need to pull up these many reports. Like, what are the server level principles that you have as a sysadmin? What are the users trying to access the database? Table level permissions. Send it all over to us. And if that is just one time of the request, pretty simple. We can do all the queries and then pull up the report. But what if you see those kind of requests checking with on different number of servers, right? Every other week or like every week. I was in the situation, right? When I joined the company, I was fine. I was working fine as I get the request, but 6 months after my job, like I'm completely overwhelmed with the audit request. I'm spending a lot of time, apart from my other work, I'm spending a lot of time on the audit reports. Because if they send the request, I need to go ahead and see where I place the scripts on my folder level. And then what query should I run? And am I running the correct query? So I created a separate Word document for it, checking, hey, first you need to go ahead and run this script. And what is this script? This script will grab this, and this is the script. And then once they request me the audit report, I'll just go through the document and then grab the script from the document, right? Or the link to the script where I have placed on the folder. I need to get that folder detail in the Microsoft Doc, go to the script, run the script, and as I execute the script, I need to take the screenshot because the audit people doesn't they don't trust us. They want us to take the screenshot along with the time frame. So I need to open up the calendar, show up the time, take the screenshot, paste it in another Word document. Every single script I need to execute, I need to paste that as well in the Microsoft Doc, paste the screenshot, and send it over to them. And this will happen, like this is happening since long time, every other week. And it is so much frustrated. And I just realized that there is the SQL notebooks which can help me, right? I don't have to do those all tedious tasks. I can place everything in a single notebook. All I have to do is like when they request, all I have to do is like connect to the server that they were requesting and run that SQL notebook. And I don't have to paste, I don't have to cut and paste anything, I don't have to send them any Microsoft Docs. All I'll do is like I'll attach the SQL notebook with the results in the email, and then that's like they are happy about it. And even then the SQL notebooks will also show the time that the query has been executed. So what I am even talking about, right? I'm talking about SQL notebooks. So these SQL notebooks are just like the way you can document things, but then you can add the text, you can add the code, as well as you can execute the code within the SQL notebook and view the results in that notebook as well. It's an executable code. You can add pictures, you can add GIFs, you can add everything. And whenever you execute the script, right, you will also get the time that the script has executed, which is a proof that you have executed that day, right? So it is very useful. Personally, I am using this for my audit request and for the documentation purposes. If, for example, you are facing an issue like your other DBA who recently joined the company is facing an issue, and you both are in a different location. He's working in another location and you are working in another, and you can't see the code and you can't even call because you are very busy. All you can do is like he can run the code and create a SQL document. What is he trying to do? And he can send it over to you. You can refer and review the document and review the code that he's trying to run, execute and see if it is providing the necessary result, or then edit and send it over to him. It is very easy for the review process, for the documentation process. And not only that, within the SQL notebooks, you not only see the results, but also you can see the results in a graphical view. Like if if you have to provide a presentation, if you have to give a presentation for the business users, they don't have any idea about SQL. You have to show them something in a graphical view. You can create a SQL document, and there is an option where you can show the results as a graphical view, which is really cool. So that's what we are going to talk. SQL notebooks are something that they will save you time. And the reason that I told all-in-one books is because you not only the SQL, you can also use different languages, the Python, as well as and, different languages. I'm going to show that in our demo. So as an overview, we are going to focus on the SQL notebooks. We are going to see what kind of tabs we have. There is something known as Markdown language, where I'll be showing you how to use it and how it is beneficial and usage scenarios and what are the limitations. So to use the SQL notebooks, you need to download the Azure Data Studio. Once you download the Azure Data Studio on the computer, you can download the SQL notebooks or Jupyter notebooks. You call the collection of SQL notebooks are called as Jupyter notebooks. So it's like a book where you have multiple SQL notebooks attached to a Jupyter notebook. So you can download, if somebody created a SQL notebook on the GitHub, you can download it and then you can open it up in your management, in your Azure Data Studio. Once you have the Azure Data Studio, because that's the tool you use to open up the SQL notebooks. So what is SQL notebook? Like I said, you have the code cells, text cells, and text cells also contain the Markdown language. And if you're not familiar with Markdown, you can directly type into the SQL notebook. You have the executable code. You can also execute within the SQL notebook. You can use it for the documentation, share with others, right? You can see the visualizations, use GIFs, images. You can use the SQL notebooks to analyze the results, right? How are the trends going on? And to open up it's like a search bar in the SQL notebook. If you do want to search and create a notebook, SQL notebook, or create a Jupyter notebook, the shortcut for is like Control Shift P will open up a search bar where you can go ahead and create a notebook. You have different kernels. So kernels are nothing but the languages that you can use within the SQL notebooks. So you have the SQL, Python, and you can also see the SQL editor. It is also capable to do the intelligence. Like if you're connected to the database and then go ahead and type the queries, it will show you the table names, which is really cool, right? Like I said, the benefit is not only for the documentation, right? For the visualization purposes. And you can also edit the data by using the SQL notebooks. You can insert, update, as well as clean the data. You can use it for the transformation purposes. And you can also automate, like When I say automate, you can automate the SQL notebooks to run at the specific timings. You can schedule them like the way you schedule for the SQL agent jobs. Like I'm not going to show that today, but I will be directly providing you a link where you can go ahead and see. So you can do that just like the way you do with the SQL agent job, schedule it, and whenever you have to run it, you don't even have to open up the book and then run it for yourself, but then just run the job. It will create a result, attach the result, like attach the result as a SQL notebook and send it to the email address that you want to send. Everything automated. That is one of the benefit as well as you can also parameterize the notebooks. You want to change the parameter values, you can do that, but it is not currently supported for SQL, for the SQL kernel, but it is supported for the Python and other languages. So before going to references, let's see the demo. So once you go to the Azure Data Studio, once you download the Azure Data Studio, you can right click on the Azure Data Studio and open up the Azure Data Studio, where you have this is the open up page, right? You can go ahead and click on new. You can either connect to a SQL server or you can create a new book, right? I do not want to just run the query in the data studio, but I want to create a notebook. So new notebook will open up the notebook. So this is how the notebooks look like. The kernels that I was talking about is like, these are the kernels like SQL kernel, Spark. These are the languages that are currently supported for the SQL, for the Azure, like for the notebooks. If you want to change the connection, you can go ahead and click on change connection, right? And if you want to provide the server name here, I already created here. So all you have to do is provide the server name. How do you want to connect? The authentication type, database name. And then if you want to create the server group is nothing but you are just creating the name and then adding these connections underneath it. It's just the naming kind of thing. And then hit on connect to be connected to that local server and to the COVID database. And if you see the connections over here, left side your screen, top one, connections, you can see to what databases that you have connected. The green mark is like connected, already connected, and the red mark is you have to connect. It's not connected right now. So let me close this one down because I already prepared this particular notebook here to show you. So this is how the notebook look like, right? So you have the text cells and code cells. So if you drop this down, you have text cell and code cell. I have created the text cell. So once you click on the text cell, this is what it opens up. And then I have, so this is a cloud data driven session. So I just want to provide the title, but then how did I get this title and then the size of the, so here I have actually, let me close this one. Here the pencil symbol, right? That is like edit this particular text cell. So I clicked on that one. And then here, if you see the paragraph, so once you click on that one, do you want this one to be a paragraph one, or like it changes the sizes if you see here. So I type it, and then whatever I type it here, I will see the same. So what you type is what you get kind of thing. So there are 3 different pages in the SQL notebooks. If you see the right side your screen here, the I symbol over here is like whatever you write is whatever you see kind of thing. And then this one is a split view. So once I click on that, this is kind of markdown text that I was talking about. I'm not much familiar with this, but then if you wanted to give it the headline of the page, then do it with 1 hash. If you want to do a sub headline, do it with 2 hash and 3 hash kind of thing. If you're not familiar with this language, right? So you have multiple kind of things. Like if you type it in the markdown here, right side in the split view, it will show you like how the text look like. It's here. If you see, you can edit your data as per your needs. So I highlighted the U. So it is like in the markdown, it's like star star U and then star star to highlight that word. You can see easily like how it will look like in the markdown text. But at the same time, what is the output of the markdown text? You can write, if you are very familiar with the markdown, you can simply type it here. Some people are really familiar and they would like to use the markdown, but then I'm not a markdown person, right? If you just want to directly write the markdown, there is the other tab, the third tab, which is a markdown view. You can completely see all the data in the markdown view. I like to use it like what you write is what you get kind of thing, because I have everything here. If I want to highlight the data, like if I scroll it down, if I want to highlight the data, all I have to do is like highlight that and then use the highlighter, right? I highlighted that. What is that? This is a highlighter. Oh yeah, you can like put the bold and you can use all of these options here. You can underline, you can use the italic. As per your needs, you can use the capital letters. You can do everything just like the way you use in the um, Microsoft Docs, right? And and this, once you have the Azure Data Studio, it is compatible with Windows, Mac, Linux. You can download this tool and you can use it. And we have different kernels, like I discussed. But the thing I have to mention here is like you can create a SQL notebook and you can use multiple kernels within the single SQL notebook. But the problem that you have is you can not only run the code, right? Here, for example, I have used the SQL kernel here on the top, if you see. And this is the query that I have written by using the code cell. So once I click the code cell, right, if you want to edit this one, um, you can edit it here, right? Select star from sys databases. And once you're ready, you can directly execute this particular single code cell, or you can directly run the entire SQL notebook by running the run all on the top of the screen here, right? Run all. If I click on run all, it will go ahead and run all the code cells within that particular SQL notebook. But what will happen if you change the code, right? For example, this code cell, I want to use the SQL kernel, but next code cell, I want to use the Python. And then I run all on the top, but the current context is the SQL kernel. So it will run the SQL kernel if it is the first code cell that it have to run, and then it will fail because it can't automatically change the kernel for you. You need to go ahead and manually change it. So it is not suggestible to use multiple kernels in the single notebook, but instead create a different SQL notebooks for each of the kernels that you would like to use. So here I created the single code cell. I would like to run the single code cell. So all you have to do is run the cell. And then here, there is no connection established currently. So um, I would like to go ahead and connect to the databases. So I would like to connect to the master database and then click on connect, right? So I can go ahead and click on run so that it will produce the results. So this is the way that it is a table format, right? But then you can also export these results if you'd like to. The options are like you can go ahead and save it as a CSV file, or you can go ahead and export it as Excel, like save it as Excel and JSON, XML, as well as the chart format, right? Once you click on that chart format, you can see it in the nice way of like chart instead of the data. So once you go ahead and click on that show table again on the last option, it will show back the table again. So what are the users of the SQL notebooks? Like we discussed before, there is nothing new over here. For the code reviews, for the auditing purposes, especially for me, oh my God, it helped me a lot. And for the demo purposes, right? I can directly create my slides. For this session, I did not create it, but I can directly create my slide information as well inside the SQL notebook because I can write the code text, right? The text cell as well. We can use it for the presentation, for analyzing purposes. Initially, they thought like only the this tool is used for the visualization purposes by the artificial intelligence guys for the data visualizations and stuff, but it is helpful for both DBAs and the developers. Like it can be used in any scenarios, right? Because we have that executable code, very simple. Once I execute this code, if I want to share this particular SQL notebook right now with my colleague, all I have to do is like save it, Control S, and then I have already saved this, but then you can go ahead and click on File, Save As, right? Click on your desktop or anywhere you want, and then save it. And once it is saved, right, you can go ahead and upload that file to the GitHub repo, or you can share it, you can attach to the email, and you can also share it. But there is also some other things that I would like to discuss here. Like for example, um, let's say I also created a Jupyter notebook that I would like to show you here. If you see left side screen under the notebooks, right? If you expand the notebooks, I have created this particular first Jupyter notebook. So how did I created that, right? So all I did was like, I have clicked on these three little dots over here, and then I pressed on create Jupyter notebook. Once I created that, like let's say test, save location will be my desktop Jupyter, let's say, and then let me create a folder here. It is taking some time. Come on. Now I'm feeling like, why did I even click this? Okay, so let's say I'm creating a folder test. Inside this test, I'm selecting this folder so that all my notebooks within this Jupyter notebook will go there. So I'm creating this one, right? So I created the test Jupyter notebook. Now under this test Jupyter notebook, you can go ahead and add the notebook. Like if you already have a notebook in the folder, you can go ahead and add the notebook. But here, let's say like I already added the notebooks over here to show you, like, for example, I'm giving a presentation on the query store, which I already did many times. So I can do that by creating multiple SQL notebooks under a Jupyter notebook. So here, if you see the contents, first I added just the text cell here, right? What are the table of contents I have, and then what is the query store? I described it somewhere and somewhat about the query store. And then what are the benefits? Again, it's a text cell, but the fourth notebook is about the code. So what I can do is, like, while I'm presenting or even to share the code with your colleagues, you can document stuff and share it with your colleagues as a Jupyter notebook where you have contents and then different set of SQL notebooks for each subtopic you have, right? And then I can teach them, I can run this particular code cell, right? Or I can just highlight and then I can run as well, right? I think I can't. If I run it, it will run the entire code because all I did was like I copied my .SQL file, and then I created this SQL notebook and I attached it, copy and paste, so that it created this document for me. But then if you want to divide it, you need to go ahead and manually go ahead and do it, like the comment section as a text and everything. So that's how I have created here. This is just to show you how you can actually collaborate, like add multiple SQL notebooks under a single Jupyter notebook. And while I was doing this, let me show you a different one. Let me close this one. Yeah, this is another like a data analysis kind of thing. I put this together to show you how we what are the capabilities and what are the advantages that we can have with a simple example. But then before moving to the example, let's see something here. Right side top screen, right? Here, like, let me grab it down and then let me see a couple of code here. So I have this code, right? So if you want to, if you want not this notebook, I'm so sorry. Let me open a different notebook because I don't want to clear out the results over there. Let me close this one, as well as this one. Okay, let's say this one. So there are a couple of options here. Like if you have a very big store procedure and then you don't want to see the entire store procedure, there is a way that you can collapse the code. Here, if you click on that one, collapse the code, it will, if you expand this one, right? If I um, expand this one, like if I run this one or like, oh, so I closed the Azure Data Studio by mistake, right? I can easily open that app again, and whatever I have it in the Azure Data Studio, it will remain in place. Let me show you this one. Not this one, it's already there here. By mistake, I have closed again. If you did not save it, right? If you did not save your Azure data, like the notebook that you created, but then suddenly closed it, you can, everything will be in place. It won't close all of them until you manually closed it. So sorry, I should not have not closed this one, but then, yeah, notebooks are, I need to go ahead and grab the notebook that I created. So let me go ahead, open notebooks in folder, and then I have put it on the desktop. This is the first notebook that I have created. And then I have saved all of them. I manually closed it. So let me see, where are these? I know where they are. So this was the one. Open. Okay. So see, so this is the query, right? I would like to collapse this query. I don't want to see all of the lines in my query. So here is the first option that you can go, right side top screen, collapse cells will actually collapse. If you see here the query, it has actually collapsed, right? So I have executed this query, but then I would like to share this notebook with a developer, but I don't want him to see the results of it. Let's say I can also clear this result out that I executed. To do that, the second option here, right side your screen, clear results will actually clear the results. If you want to run it again, you can go ahead and click that and connect to the database, right? Here the database is master database. I'm connecting and then I can execute it again. And then here, let me also show you. If I would like to export this SQL notebook, right, as a SQL, I have the ability to do that. All you have to do is you have to go ahead and click on this button over here, the last one, right side top side of your screen, export notebook as SQL. Once you click on that one, it will directly export as a SQL file. And if I go here back again, there is also a way that it shows like run with parameters, but as it is a SQL notebook, SQL query, you cannot parameterize right now. But there is a document from Microsoft where they will show you like how you can use parameterized for the Python language. I'll share you that link as well in the end. And let me show you my notebook, the other one. So it is here. I need to search my analysis, not this one. It's a JSON format. Oh, where is mine? Okay, let's say, yeah, that is the one. Yeah, it took a while to import it. Okay, so what I did in this example is like, let's say I have an office and many employees doesn't want to take the vaccination. I took a step forward and I did the analysis by using the different websites like the World Health Organization reports as well as the other um, resources, the valid resources. There are a couple of other GitHub resources where I can download the CSV files, the data, the actual real data that was collected over time for years. I have grabbed that information. I have created a database and imported all of those CSV files into the database and name it as a COVID database. And I have seen several errors, something like that, but then I managed to create a database just for this demo. So I grabbed the source data from this GitHub repo. If you'd like to also do the same, go to this link. So if you see here, this is a pure notebook, like a SQL notebook. You'll only see the SQL code in it. And then I have provided the citations, right? I have added some GIFs, what is like SQL COVID. This is like an analysis. I'm sending this to all of the colleagues like, hey, look into this analysis and decide it for yourself. Like I'm trying to encourage people to take the vaccination. So I showed the what is COVID-19. I added the GIF. I added the picture. Right? We can add pictures, GIFs as well. So I use the SQL query querying to my database, the COVID database that I created. So let me go ahead and connect. Right on the top, attach and change the connection. Here is my COVID database. I would like to connect. So I connected right now. Now I executed all of this code, right? The select top 10 with the most COVID cases. What are the 10 most COVID cases countries? So if I see the results, these are the results, but then you can also see that in the graphical view. And as I go through, I will show you the results only in the graphical view. You will see how much of a visualization um, thing that it has provided us, because not always the SQL queries like SQL table results will give you the information. It is also the visualization. So the information of COVID vaccination based upon the continent. So once I executed this code, based upon the continent, right, the total vaccinations are like in Asia, these are the number of vaccination and these are the other continents. People partially vaccinated, right? There are like different kinds of like doses, like dose number 1, dose number 2, right? So how many people are like partially vaccinated? Asia and then the other continents. People who are fully vaccinated with the number 1 and the number 2 shot. These are the results. And what is the complete number of population in each of these continent? If you just hover your mouse over there, you can see the results. And analyze the people who are vaccinated, especially in the United States per state. So I grabbed all of the states, right? And if you see here in the color view, you can also just see like, hey, this complete blue color, like this one, also included the total number of vaccination we have in the United States, along with all the other states over here. Right? These are the total number of vaccinations and the people vaccinated partially in the United States and people who are got fully vaccinated. But if you can hover your mouse and see, like, you can also see this is very little because we grabbed all of the continents, right? All 50 states. And then what are the, especially I took the California state and I have seen like how many people are actually went to hospital, got hospitalized without vaccination and after vaccination. So without vaccination, these are the number of people in the California state, right, who got into hospital. And then the vaccinated cases are like, when you see these are negligible, right? You can see it in the visualization state. And the unvaccinated cases versus the vaccinated cases, like comparing the deaths, the number of deaths. So unvaccinated hospitalized, vaccinated hospitalized, unvaccinated number of people who are death, who went to death, right? The vaccinated deaths. If you see the results, these are like this is the analysis that I am doing to send it to my colleagues and everybody in the office. to just see the overview, like what is the visualization thing, and they don't have to go through the data itself within the table, but then visually they can see how much of a difference it is and how much the vaccinations are actually helping people. And then what are the what are the manufacturers, how they are doing? Like we have different manufacturers and how they are doing when compared with one another. So the total vaccination, the Pfizer is in the top level, and then the others following the others. But then there is some interviews that went on during the COVID phase. They asked people in the United States whether they want to wear the mask when they are in the 6 feet apart with the other people outside. And there are some very nice states who said always yes. And the top 10 states that they always said, yes, we want to wear a mask definitely are these 10. And if you hover your mouse and see the Connecticut people from that particular county, the percentage that they said yes is like 88% out of like 100%. And that is being counted by the person like number one is like 100%. And then if you hover your mouse, how they are like how they are in the percentage wise, and those are the counties. But the other side, there are also 10 counties which said no, we doesn't want to wear a mask. No offense to everybody, this is the data that has actually shown in the website. So I did not make any modifications. All I did was import. So these are the counties that they said never. So I just want to move ahead. I don't want to stand there for a longer time. Okay, so I just added another GIF here to show like how to wear a mask if you don't know how to wear a mask, right? What is the right way and wrong way? And then not only that I grabbed, but also while doing my analysis, right, I found something weird. Like I have seen the top 20 locations of the vaccinated, and then what are the total cases, right? Depending upon the different countries. So while I was grabbing the country data, I also saw something weird. Like if you see the first one here, if you see the name of it, total cases high income, and then if you hover upper middle class, and then lower middle class. I don't know what this means. Like literally, life is a life, right? It doesn't have to attach to the financial status of a person. So I thought like this data, I didn't like this data. This data is not like clear and pure. So I don't want this kind of information to be included in my analysis. So I thought of dropping all of this category data. So I wanted to clean up this data and then grab the other data into my analysis. So before deleting, as a DBA, I have to make sure I grabbed all the information that I wanted to get deleted and then put it in a different table. So these three categories are special categories that I want to throw in a different table. I don't want to use them. And then I went ahead and delete the data. So not only for the retrieval purposes, but also you can edit, delete the data for the data cleansing purposes. You can use it. I deleted the data. So there are like 2,175 rows that I deleted. And then I made sure I deleted the data by retrieving the data and by searching on these three categories. And I didn't find anything. So when you see the observations from this analysis, right? The all I showed you is the graphical format, and the graph that I showed you, it clearly shows how much of a difference we have when compared with the unvaccinated as well as the vaccinated. The unvaccinated hospitalized people as well as um, vaccinated hospitalized. There are like way too much of a difference. And the unvaccinated deaths, vaccinated deaths, when you compare, it's like vaccinated deaths are like negligible. So based upon this thing, I provided an observation and I said like I concluded it like upon the reviewing and analyzing the COVID data, we really encourage other people. We are not forcing them, but we are trying to encourage the employees to take the vaccinations. And I mentioned like it doesn't cost you to protect your life, but it does cost your life if you are not protected. So that's my analysis. And this is just like an example that I would like to see how much of like analyzing purposes, documenting purposes, right? Sharing the results at the same time along with the code. You can do that as well using the notebooks. And something else I would like to show you here. So let me show you. And audit report. So the kind of audit report that I'm talking about that I use, these are a couple of the queries that I use in my company to grab the details. These are like generalized queries, right? So just to grab the principal names and then who is having the sysadmin access on the server, and then what are the orphan user list if we have any, grab that information. So I mentioned it in the text code, right? Once I execute the code, I do not have any. So I do not have to take any screenshots right now because it is clearly showing, and also it is showing me the total, like the timings as well. You can also include the timings as a variable. You can also do that. Grab the timings within the SQL code as well, the timing. And then I do not have to do that. It shows the total execution time and the results as well within the SQL query, like within the SQL notebook. So I have grabbed the server role permissions, like how my audit reports look like, right? This is the exact SQL notebook along with the results I share with the user who requested for the report. And also, I have also created, let me show you. So I'll go to the server connections, right? Top side, left side your screen, go to the connections, and let's say this is the database that I connected, right? So let's say this one I want to connect it as an adventure work. So it is already connected. Right side on it and then go to manage, right? Once I go to manage, I see all the table names, schema, type, and then all the other information. But then just go one way backwards. Like I'm connecting to the local server and then I'm connecting to the database AdventureWorks. So I would like to go to the server level, which is local. And here I see the SQL agent, right? SQL agent, like if you downloaded the Azure Data Studio, you will not see the SQL agent right away, but there is a process like you have to download couple of extensions. I will provide you, I'll provide you all the links, like especially how to actually create a SQL agent job, attach your notebook and then run it on a schedule. um, Bali, he has actually given the 15-minute video for the data exposed MVP edition. I will be providing the link so that you can also go ahead and see how it actually works. So I'm not going to show you how he have created because we have that video, but then I have actually executed. So here, for example, let's say I have executed this job. Tyob is going to show everything, so I'm not going to show much of it. But then I executed, and once I executed the job, right, I can go ahead and see these are the executions that are already executed. But then if you go to the notebooks on the top, right, once I click the notebook and once I open that notebook, you have see all the results of that output. So all I did was like create a job, attach the SQL notebook, and I said like whenever we run this particular job, go ahead and run that notebook and output the notebook with the results. So it's the same notebook, but with along with the executable results, right? So let's say I'm opening this latest result. And if you see, I have provided the notebook just with this code. But then as it executed, it provided the results as well, right? These are the results that it have produced, and I can directly see it in the graphical view, right, as well as in the table view. So all we have to do is like we can grab the results like this, like double click on the results to view it again in the SQL notebook, or also we can send it to a user directly without the interaction. All you have to do is run on the schedule or run manually. The results will be send it over to the email. You can also do that. So all of that information Tayob showed in the video. So please follow that video. That is what I thought of showing you. I think that's it from my side. And these are the references. And this is the video I'm talking about. It showed like how to create, how to use SQL agent jobs and how to run the SQL notebooks using the SQL agent job. And also these are the other references that I followed. Microsoft Docs and also Julie from Microsoft, she have a wonderful video, like long extension of SQL Notebook sessions that are available on YouTube. You can also go there and like dive deep into the SQL notebooks along with the other versions like using Python. She also showed how to use the Python and how to actually use the SQL notebooks um, um, as an alert to the other kind of work that is going on. So something happens and then you will alert this notebook, those kind of things as well. So you can follow that link down below, the last one, to know more about the SQL notebooks. And I would like to end up here and thank you once again for Jean, Joseph, and Kevin for giving me this very nice opportunity.
Oh, our pleasure, Deepthi. The only real question we have from the group is, could we actually use this to automate backups of production in the jump box?
Automate the backups. I think yes, because I told you, right, we can actually, you can create a notebook and then you can write the code, but then I think we can do it. I did not test it though. I did not test it. So if I'm not really sure, I can't promise, yes, you can do it, but then I have to test it. Because it is not just the code, but you also have to place the backups in some location. So how does that work? Because you need to have the permissions. Like it will run using, I think it will run using the SQL agent account, because you are creating that actual job within the SQL server underneath the SQL agent jobs. I think you have to try it. I
So
may try it later.
the other fun question would be, would it be the right thing to do?
I'm not really sure. Like, will it be the right thing to do? I mean, I don't know if that will be successful. I mean, I have to go ahead and check. But then, why would you want to do, like, if you are manually running the jobs, right? Anyway, you have to schedule this job. Like we have the free tools out there, like the other free tools where we can take the backups, right? I mean, I have to go ahead and test it. But
Agree.
there are still the other better ways to take the backups. Ola Hellengren scripts that we are using since years, and it's working perfectly fine. But I can't say that we can't use it. I need to go ahead and test it.
Right. Yep. As with everything, always make sure to test 3,000 times and then
Yeah.
test again just to make sure.
Because we are not talking about development environments, we are talking about production, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very big difference. The other question is, where are the slides and the URLs be available?
Oh yeah. Thank you so much for asking this question, because I just forgot something to show you. So GitHub, I thought of showing like how to upload, right? How to upload it to the GitHub. I also thought of showing that to you. So this is my GitHub page and SQL notebooks. Here is where I uploaded. But then like you have created a SQL notebook and then you wanted to upload it, right? Let's say like, let me go ahead and show you like example of how you can upload. I will create a repository over here, right? The new repository, I will name it as test, let's say, and it is open to public. Test is already taken. Okay, I'll make sure test one, and then I'll create a repository over here. So once I create the repository, you can go ahead and upload an existing file. So as you upload the existing file, choose your files, like the SQL notebook that you have created, right? Let's say this is the example audit report, I would like to upload it. So click on that one and then open it up and then commit the changes, which will upload your SQL Notebook onto GitHub. But then if you want to download this file, let's say like you came here and then you wanted to download, all you have to do is go to code and then download the zip file, right? So once it download, if you open it up, you'll have the IPYNB file, which is a SQL Notebook file, where you can go ahead and directly click on it and open the exact thing like as a SQL Notebook if you have Azure Data Studio. But I have already uploaded it onto my GitHub here. And I'm going to share that with you right now.